And in terms of innovation, which we believe is going to be attractive to investors from Germany, we have the mobile virtual network operator segment that are just being developed. In this segment, you don't have to own infrastructure. You use virtual services to link up to those that are producing the services, the big operators, and you're able to give services and make a lot of money. And these are new developments in the telecom sector around the world, which is giving opportunities for those interested in telecommunications to come and leverage on the huge opportunity, because the beauty of the Nigerian telecom sector is that there is still a huge opportunity. We have not gone half of what is available in terms of people that will have services. There are still gaps, even as we make a lot of progress in the tech sector. There are still a lot of gaps, a lot of people who are hungry for different types of services. As creativity in the sector is growing, so is the demand. So with our huge population, we are sure that in any part that any organization, any company in Italy comes to play, they will ensure returns on investment. They are guaranteed stability of the regulation and rules and regulations guiding the sector. And of course, the demand will keep expanding all day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, speakers. And I'll throw the floor open for questions so we can quickly go for lunch, then we can have our B2B. But before we do, I have some few points to make. One is to let us know what will happen after. We're going to take the questions and contribution. After that, we'll have a working lunch. Then by the time we come back, they will try and rearrange the hall so we can have a B2B. But I want to assure our partners from Nigeria that the Italians that we have are quite versatile and they have ability to accommodate different business. You know, an average African, Nigerian especially, he will tell you he's a tailor, he's a mechanic, and he's a barber. You know, he has combination of activities. I don't think it's limited to Nigerians, because many Italian companies you see, the one that spoke with us yesterday, will tell you that they can do 6 things. They'll get you boat, they can get you construction, they can get you finances. So I look at it that Nigerians and Italians have a lot in common. And that common philosophy we can share after the working lunch. Point number 2, thank you, is that I want us to have a short recognition to understand the depth that we have come to this point of having this event. 2 years ago, we had, maybe 3 years ago before the COVID, we had a business forum here. Last year, Ambassador Abam, when he became the ambassador, he said he had a vision that he wants to organize a business forum. And I can tell us vividly that of all the ambassadors that were appointed then, Italy was the first mission to organize a business forum. And that is not just it. Ambassador Abam has been instrumental in making sure the business and economic and diplomatic relations between Nigeria and Italy has developed and has evolved and has got bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you look at his antecedents, you know, he started from a humble beginning. I will not unveil you now, so don't get too worried. But this is someone that is so unassuming, but he's full of knowledge and depth. Since he started his career, he has always been working with either the president or the minister or the high offices because of the pedigree that he carries within him. Ladies and gentlemen, let us recognize Ambassador Abam for his work, for the diplomatic career. We are very proud of you indeed. No, the irony of it is that diplomacy, as you know, is not about money, but it's about relevance, about goodwill, about finesse, and he has a lot of that. One more time, please appreciate Ambassador. And next, I want us to also appreciate and recognize the Italian embassy in Abuja and the consulate in Lagos. They believe so much in what we are doing. Each time you go to them, anything that has to do with Nigeria and Italy Business Forum, they don't think twice, they work together and they make sure everything that needs to be done is done to have the business forum. Please help us recognize the Consulate General and the Consulate and the Ambassador himself. And of course, we cannot but equally recognize someone here that has been instrumental in changing the face of the organized public sector in Nigeria. Before him, we've had a lot of people in that positions that had not given that office the respect and the finesse that it deserves until this guy came on board. And no, it's not. But it's not about money. But you've got to look because before he became the national president, he is money. Money has been smelling all over his body, so it's not about money. In dollar, but he has come to improve the business community in Nigeria. And you've got to see all the countries that we have been to, how they welcome him, bring him on board, not because of anything, because of the way he has changed the mindset of the organized private sector. And I'm sure Italy will recognize that and enjoy that with working with nobody but Chief Otumba Dele Oye, the national president of NASIMA. Please, thank you very much. No, sorry, you are not having the floor, Mr. President. No, you're not having the floor. No, you're not, I won't let you say a word. No, Your Excellency, I haven't finished. For us to appreciate Ambassador, I call him an ambassador, but he's our national president. I told him at the last minute that you're coming to Italy, and he did not argue. Why? He said, my vision for NASIMA is to build relationship with different countries, and I want to come to see how we can improve the business relations between Nigeria and Italy. And he has kept to his words. You know, seriously, he has done everything. We are really proud of you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. Please recognize him.
Can you say what you want to say?
No, before you say, I'll let him say it. But the last thing I'll say about him is that look at him very properly. Because the next time you see him, he will look different. You see his fine haircut today. Next time you will have another shape of haircut, and you probably won't recognize him and say this is the president, but he's still the same person. I'll talk about Ambassador Bolaji, then he will come and say what he wants to say about Ambassador Bolaji. And that's the last person I want us to acknowledge. Ambassador Bolaji has been very, very helpful and very, very good for Nigeria. He has, some other agencies feel he's coming to encroach into their territory. But truly speaking, he has facilitated Nigeria, XYZ countries' business and economic relations. And when you get closer to him, you'll see that he keeps his hair, but for nothing, but those hair is full of brain. You know, each string of hair. And money. You have the floor. Please, before you do that, please recognize and give him a round of applause. And he's a pastor as well. National President, you have the floor, Ambassador Bolaji.
As a pastor, you also collect tax.
Pastor, you should not collect tax. And finally, we can talk about all these people, but whatever vision they have will never manifest if you and I have not decided to come. I want us to recognize ourselves and appreciate that we have come to make Nigeria and Italy very proud and very strong. Thank you very much. Before the question and answer, and I'll start a question and answer with just one question to someone here as well from the NCC. Mrs. Frida Bruce Bennett, the DD Policy Management. Can you please appreciate her as she comes forward because I want her to comment. Okay, can you give the mic to her? Okay, please let me give her the mic. And I want her to briefly share with us the policy framework that you have to boost confidence on with consumers, especially in respect of transmission of communication services.
Okay, Thank you very much. And thank you for the organization of this very timely conference. I think my boss, Mr. Ruben Walker, has said a lot about what NCC is doing. And in terms of consumer confidence, we have a Consumer Affairs Bureau that is primarily responsible for every type of relationship that the consumers have with the operators. And we have a very robust document that talks about the services that the operators, who we normally call the MNOs, mobile network operators, and all the licensees are expected to give back to the consumers, because consumer protection is one of the key core functions of us, of the NCC, under the NCA Act 2003 as part of our objectives. So that's something we are very, very focused on, to make sure that whatever services the consumers get, whatever services are advertised, is in line with what the Commission has already approved. And in terms of cost, to ensure that the costs are not prohibitive in any form, but that they are in line with the guidelines and the standards that have been set. For example, even in my department, Policy, Competition and Economic Analysis, one of the things we ensure is to put a price cap and a price floor, because you obviously have the big operators, for example, who can cross-subsidize and ensure that the services they give in one area covers, and therefore has a negative impact on the businesses and the capabilities of smaller entities, and therefore the consumers are maybe blessed, but however the competition is weakened. So we have all those processes and policies that NCC continues to put in place. And not only that, we do ensure, as with the changing times, now we're going to a very digitalized system, and a lot of additional players, especially international players, are coming on board. So we ensure at every time that both the Commission and the staff of the Commission are abreast with global realities, to ensure that the rules and policies we put in place are abreast with global realities. Of course, it's not to say it's always easy, because the industry is usually faster than the government, but we keep trying our best to ensure the staff are trained, and that as a commission, this work is done. Please, it's important to note that even though my department is primarily responsible for policies, by virtue of the fact that we're dealing with a country with over 200 million people, our various departments, based on the areas of their key focus, have a part to play. And they also ensure that if there's a change in that area, that information is passed across to us, so that we work in a very symbiotic way to ensure that every area of the sector, be it consumer affairs, be it finance, be it the competition, whatever, that we are creating policies in a symbiotic way to ensure that the people are in no way affected. And if my boss would allow me digress, I would also want to just mention a couple of other areas that I think that our Italian counterparts will be interested in. Currently, you know that connectivity is the bedrock of everything we do, not only in telecoms, but in the world, because we have entered a digitalized world. And fiber and also spectrum are critical, both fixed and wireless. And these are still areas that NCC would really, really appreciate relationships. And NCC is premised on three key areas: accessibility, affordability, and availability. And we now have, the Commission is trying to conclude on the mobile virtual network operators. And that is really key, because that means everybody can have a market, both for the business people in which they can play, where you can actually have your own spectrum, where you can have your own active infrastructure, or you can just have yourself having a license where you partner with somebody as a reseller. That way we have accessibility to everybody. We also have a situation in Africa, and I think Nigeria is one, especially with the changing times, where we really need alternative power. The cost of diesel, which is what most of the mobile operators use, has gone excessively prohibitive. And it would be nice if you can bring in your technologies and your skills, and this will ensure we have more affordable connectivity across the nation. And my boss has already mentioned about Nodits, and he has mentioned about the need for affordable devices. If you give opportunity, I'm sure my colleague, Mr. Digima, will not mind talking about that. Because we know that we can't just keep buying what is out there. We want to ensure that we have sustainability, and in order to achieve that, we must have these are all part of our policies, to have something that is sustainable for us and affordable, where we can have our own locally grown telecoms devices. Thank you very much. I hope I've been able to answer.
Fantastically. 3 A's. AAA, accessibility, affordability, availability. NCC, you've won. So, questions, please. Do we have questions for any of the panelists or contributions, comments from Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Abuja Chamber of Commerce, NCC, or we are all good to go?
I think the other thing I just mentioned, I want to sincerely thank our friend. I think he has spoken more about doing business in Nigeria than any Nigerian. The way he has put it in perspective, in terms of size, distance from where there's problem, and how people can enter. Honestly, I recorded you, and you are going to be very famous from now on. I'm going to play you on every channel, television in Nigeria.
On TikTok.
For them to, no, yes, on all the social media. The reason is because it's a lot easier for someone who is on this other side to talk about you. Because you can only look at yourself, not everything you see in the mirror, especially your body, whether it is scenting or smelling. But if somebody across talks about you, it's able to tell you who really you are. Honestly, when you were talking there, I'm going to leave here tomorrow to go to Turkey. We're also having Turkey, Africa. And I'm also going to play a video there for them to hear. Because part of the biggest problem we have in Nigeria, we are not in charge of our own story. We allow the newspapers to tell our story. And most times, for journalists, it's bad news that sells. There are a lot of good things happening in Nigeria, indeed in Africa, I can tell you. I've gone around the whole of Europe, America. Your society is not as posterious, lively as it used to be. After the COVID, that is where you need the African spirit. Because we in Africa, even in the face of crisis, we smile and we move on. We need each other now. Very important. And that's why I'm appealing to the West. The Chinese, the Turkish, all of them are in already. The Indians are in. But we don't see you. We don't see you. We need these industries. We also have some money to pay. We don't want aid. We want trade. We are ready. So please let them know. If they are afraid of local challenges, we'll be their partners. At least to lead them there. We'll take the initial risk for you. But what is important is, I want this partnership to work. I don't want to lose my traditional friends. Some of us are tied to you in faith. If the Chinese come now, I don't want to be kneeling to something I don't know. So please, we need you. We need you back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. Ogido will have a question. Help us, President.
Mine is not a question, it's just to contrast what the National Chairman has just said. Olajide Ogoda, I'm the Vice President of Nigeria Italy Chamber of Commerce. Everybody is impressed about the submission of my president. So if anybody wants to, we have a document called Nigeria, a glance about Nigeria. So you can reach me, I'll send it to you via mail, and you see it's just as he has submit, averagely everything is included there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. After the man from NCC makes his contribution, I'm going to invite one wonderful lady here, Marcelo Oltaro, Operation of Council for Anderson. Can you please give us a wave of her hand? Thank you. We're going to appreciate you. She's always been with us, and I want her to make some comment after the gentleman there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Engineer Babagana Digima. Sorry, my apologies. I think I was introduced earlier. I was taking a call outside there. I'm the team lead for the Nigeria Office for Developing the Indigenous Telecom Sector, which is an office under the Nigerian Communications Commission. Basically, as our name suggests, we are supporting the development of indigenous telecom sector through manufacturing, human capacity development, R&D, and of course, software and services. My bosses have already mentioned some of the things we do, but just to add, to buttress their points, one of the things that we are currently doing as NCC is support we're giving to indigenous companies or companies that want to manufacture in Nigeria. One example is we're providing funding incentive for a company to establish the manufacture of corrugated optical duct in Nigeria.